play down here in Tennessee. We don't need y'all to talk about us because we're going to talk about ourselves. Told y'all.
Well, look who it is, Jake. Titans tube crawling out of the woodwork. Well, yeah, we're finally crawling out and saying hello to everybody because we haven't made a video, Jake, since the Titans got eliminated from the playoffs by the Jacksonville Jaguars several weeks ago. And then there was a round of playoff games played. And then another round of playoff games played, and now we're already at the conference championships, but it's not too late. It's our channel, Jake. We can do whatever we want. We're on our own timeline, so we got a few things we can catch up on and discuss with this disaster of a season that it turned out to be for the Tennessee Titans, and then looking forward. But Jake, how are you? Thanks for sticking through this rough season with us here at Titans Tube.
Absolutely, man. And hey, everybody grieves in their own way. Everybody goes through the process on their own timeline. So I don't want to hear any comments or haters like, "Oh, look who it is," just like you started with, Justin. Because it's taken us exactly this long to come on here and talk about what we just witnessed in this Titans season. Unfreaking believable, man. Yeah. 7 straight losses to end the year. They went up to Green Bay on that Thursday night. Really, the only stamp game, signature win that they had all season. We were feeling good. This team is 7-3, and they hadn't played their best football yet. Oh, but Justin, they had played their best football in Green Bay on that snowy night in Lambeau. Because after that, Todd Downing drove home drunk from the team airplane, and it kind of just all unraveled from there. Todd Downing was fired as the OC. Justin, that was a big piece of news after the season was over. And also the Titans have replaced general manager John Robinson with new general manager Ran Carthon from the San Francisco 49ers. He was the director of player personnel, I believe. Justin, do you have any initial thoughts on these changes? As of right now, the filming of this video, the Titans don't have their new offensive coordinator, but again, they've introduced Ran and the whole general manager introductory press conference and all that stuff. Do you have any thoughts on the hire? I know we're not big front office guys and film and player scouting guys, but do you have any thoughts on that hire?
I got to say, he's got a good beard going for him, Jake. Much better than John Robinson did.
Yes.
And he's already over John Robinson in that department. So I like the direction that the team is taking. Getting a guy, with a full beard, gives you that confidence. I'm a fan. He came from San Francisco. I like that. San Francisco has proven these last few years now that that is a very well-run organization that can bring in talent and hold talent. They still got Deebo Samuel on the team, something John Robinson wasn't able to do. John Lynch over there kind of, I guess, running the show. If Ran Carthon can somehow pluck Kyle Shanahan out of there to be our offensive coordinator, it would be a job demotion for Shanahan. But I think that would be a big plus, and that would skyrocket Ran Carthon's legacy here as a Tennessee Titans GM. But it's fresh blood. You got to just, give him all benefits of all doubts and say, go get him and go find us an offensive coordinator. And he's got his work cut out for him, Jake. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of things to address with this team as far as offensively, with the offensive line, wide receivers, and what are we going to do at quarterback? That's a big question. Tannehill's not even guaranteed to come back this year. Speaking of which, funnily enough, I was so out on Tannehill at this time last year. I was ready to move on. I was ready to go, move in a different direction, big time choke in the playoffs. We were a Super Bowl team last year until we got upset in the divisional round, and Tannehill throws 3 picks. Everything just fell apart in that one game. But this last year, Jake, we were 7-10 on a 7-game losing streak, and I I have an unbelievable amount of respect for Ryan Tannehill and everything he dealt with and the way he played and fighting through the failures of offensive coordinating and just lack of game planning and game adjustments and the pass protection issues and all the injuries throughout the wide receivers and offensive line and all of that. And I thought he played admirably and did the best that he could. And I would be fine if he came back again for another year, as long as it doesn't hurt the team that terribly with his final cap hits. But I got a lot of respect for Tannehill. I think he loves this team. He loves being here. He believes in this team and he wants to stay. And yeah, I don't know. He's got my respect again, Jake. But we'll see what we do at the quarterback position and Ryan Tannehill. But it's going to be an interesting offseason, man. A lot of
absolutely
things are going to happen. I mean, we have the 11th pick in the draft, from 7-3 to the 11th pick in the draft, Jake. God, I don't know how to feel about. I mean, I hope we don't draft another bust. I kind of think playing for draft positioning is a little overrated. I mean, you can find hits in mid rounds and late rounds that turn out just as good as early rounds. And that's been our bread and butter, is the mid rounds and late rounds. We stank. John Robinson stank in the early rounds. So hopefully we can identify some sure thing talent, team player to come and contribute. Because I think Ran Carthon said himself, this doesn't necessarily have to be a full rebuild. I mean, we can tweak some things here and there, and we should be contenders, next season or maybe the season after that. If you look at it, Jake, we were look at the two teams in the AFC Championship game, Kansas City and Cincinnati. Those games came to the final possession for the Titans. The Chargers on the road, that was a 17-14 game, another failure of the offense. So how bad exactly is this team? It's kind of hard to say given the injuries, yet we are still playing these elite teams very close. We also lost to Houston, so let's go ahead and throw that out there. We lost to Buffalo by 40 points too. So I'm not turning a blind eye to that, but maybe he's right. And hopefully he is right. Hopefully he can come in and tweak some things and we can get right back to contending and winning the AFC South. Cause I got to say, getting swept by Jacksonville and then taking the division final game of the year did a number on me. That was sickening to see.
It was a brutal stretch, Justin. I don't know if I've ever been more apathetic, more not able to get up for Titans games each and every week than I was this season coming down the stretch, and it sucked. It's taken us 3 weeks after the final game of the season to even get on here and talk about it. And so with the Ran Carthon hire, you said it just in a little spiel there, but new blood. I thought that was incredibly important for this Titans franchise to bring in an outside hire. And yes, mentioned San Francisco, really well-run organization. All the pieces are there. You would think Ran Carthon can come into Nashville and kind of pick up where he left off with San Francisco. That's the hope and expectation. And I really thought it was important to get new blood, because if they did go inside hire, it's felt like we're going to keep running in place. We're not going anywhere. We're making lateral moves. We keep making lateral moves instead of going forward. So hopefully he can come in. I love your judgment of his beard, because my first judgment of Ran Carthon, $1 million smile. That dude, he just, I don't know, the way he presents himself and talks and has that big grinning smile that was on all of his press photos. So based off of just his looks and facial features alone, Ran Carthon gets the Titans tube stamp of approval from us. But that aside, I thought new blood, new philosophy was massive for this organization. And speaking of new blood and such, Justin, at that quarterback position you were talking about, Ryan Tannehill is probably going to be the quarterback of the Tennessee Titans next season. And there's going to be naysayers, and we're going to have a split fan base, again, next year. Come to expect it every single year in the Titans verse. But Ryan Tannehill, I'm glad you gave your kudos to him, because I also wanted to give my kudos to him. The 7-10 record was not a product of Ryan Tannehill this season. Yes, the playoff loss last year, absolutely a product of Ryan Tannehill. But 7-10, he was not responsible for. And just look at this past weekend of football, Justin. Patrick Mahomes goes down with a high ankle sprain, can hardly walk, comes back in the game. He's hailed as the toughest football player to ever walk the earth. Ryan Tannehill did the same exact thing this season against the Los Angeles Chargers. Went out with a high ankle sprain, came back in the game, kept them in the game. That was a tie game with a minute left. Obviously, yeah. Justin Herbert drives down, kicks the game winner. But Ryan Tannehill has put it all on the line for this team this year, and did put it all on the line this year for the Titans. And maybe if they can restructure him or, get that cap hit down somehow. But I think Ryan Tannehill is going to be the quarterback. But there's also a school of thought with me, Justin, that, again, look around the AFC playoff field. There were 4 quarterbacks in the divisional round of the AFC playoffs. They were all under 30 years old, really, really young guys. Like Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen were the old men of the class. And then it was Trevor Lawrence and Joe Burrow. So it's a young man's game right now in the AFC, and especially with how stacked everybody is, you're going to need a generational talent quarterback if you really want to come in and compete. Aaron Rodgers, don't want him. I'm sorry. I don't want Aaron Rodgers on this team. Tom Brady, sure as hell don't want Tom Brady on this team. If we were going to go get Brady, we should have done it 2 years ago. But that ship has sailed, and that's over. So it's either, have Tannehill be your bridge quarterback until you find that franchise quarterback in the draft that you're coveting, because this team is not in any position to tank. This team is not in any position to throw away next season. You have Derrick Henry still very much in his prime, I think. And you have a good core nucleus of young defenders on defense who I think should be paid. And I think Ran Carthon will get Jeff Simmons, David Long paid. But it's definitely going to be an interesting offseason from turnover perspective, and just, where do you go after 7 straight losses? You had the division wrapped up in week 10. It was over. It was a done deal, and we were talking about, let's just make it to January and anything can happen. And then we didn't make it to January, frankly. So yeah, I don't know where this Titans team goes, but it'll be fun to watch, interesting to watch at least.
It's possibly one of the worst seasons ever, given the context of just how it all unfolded and the hope, that was, was there, with 7-3, and we had been the number 1 seed, and then won the division the year prior to that, went to the AFC Championship the year prior to that. Even the Ken Wisenhunt years, like, we stunk and we knew we stunk, and it was on display week in and week out. But just the way that this team found a way to find themselves at 7-3, and then it literally collapsed. And you don't win another game after that, and it gets swept by a division rival. We were all worried about beating the Colts. The Colts are the team to beat in the division. Oh, how wrong were we? Because Jacksonville did the opposite thing and took a crazy winning streak into the playoffs. So now it looks like they could be the team to beat in the future now, with Trevor Lawrence and Doug Peterson. They're kind of finding their rhythm with that team. I forgot where I was going, but just disappointing season. And what was Ran Carthon going to do with this team? Speaking of rebuilding in the quarterback position, an interesting, I just thought of this. I don't know, would you be totally against, with Ryan Tannehill being the quarterback now, do you still use that 11th pick? And if a Bryce Young or a CJ Stroud or somebody is still sitting there, do you take him and sit him there for a year behind Ryan Tannehill? Because next year has got to be Ryan Tannehill's last year. I don't think we're going to do better with a quarterback that's going to be a free agent this year or available, like a Rodgers, Brady, Derek Carr. Who else might be available? I would rather have Tannehill than all of those guys going into next year. But how badly are we going to be kicking ourselves if Bryce Young is sitting there at number 11 and we pass on him? Because we do have other issues. We could go for a left tackle at pick 11, but then Bryce Young goes to another team and he's instantly, or he turns out to be a bona fide franchise quarterback. And it's like, whoa, we had our chance, and now we're in quarterback
purgatory.
Limbo. Yeah. Purgatory. I was trying to think of purgatory. Thank you. Limbo was close enough. Anyway, so I don't know. That's an interesting thing. That's what Patrick Mahomes did behind Alex Smith with the Chiefs. And of course, nobody else is going to be Patrick Mahomes. But I don't know, just something to think about, heading into the draft, and how Ran Carthon might be trying to win now, but also thinking about the future. If you truly believe that there's a franchise quarterback in this draft, but I don't know.
Definitely.
Yeah, just throwing it out there. It's going to be an interesting, position. It's going to be a challenge for him in his first year as a general manager to kind of work out this puzzle piece.
No doubt about it. And now I don't think that a CJ Stroud or Bryce Young is going to be there at 11. I highly doubt that the top 10 passes on them. But if they are, I mean, shit, why not? Like, but the really biggest hole, and I don't think this is a surprise to anybody, is the offensive line. And you saw fundamentally, I mean, I feel like a lot of football fans know this, but it goes unnoticed a lot. If you don't have an offensive line, you really don't have an offense. And it's just flat out that, I don't think the Titans had great weapons by any means, but Derrick Henry still had 1,500 rushing yards behind the worst offensive line in the league, Justin. I mean, we're up there with the Bears, and I can't think of another one right now, but just putrid offensive line play. The Texans are a little bit better. They have Laramie Tunsil, right? They at least have some kind of marquee guy. We just had nobody. So it's going to be interesting to see where we go with that 11th pick. I could see the Titans trading down and picking up more capital. It's definitely going to be a big shakeup, I think, when it comes to offensive line. And I think, even with the amount of cornerback investment we've put into the team, I think the team could use still a better cornerback group.
So many
they were the worst ranked pass defense last year, and we've invested 2 second-round picks in McCreary and Fulton, a first-round pick in Caleb Farley, who literally hasn't played a dozen snaps, it feels like. I know he's been in more than that, but his impact has been zero. So
Molden has been hurt.
Molden was
our best cornerbacks are hurt. So it seems But
sorry. It's no, you're fine. But it's going to be a retool of the offensive line. It's going to be getting rid of this old guard cap casualties that have been, the amount of money the Titans had on injured reserve this season, Justin, was bonkers. It was insane. So I don't know how you amend that. We're gonna have a special guest coming across the keyboard right now. Go ahead and get you down.
Look at that creature,
Lil Fran. But I don't know if she has the answer on how to fix this Titans roster, because it just seems like we're so far behind on a talent level compared to all these other teams. Look at the Bengals, look at the Chiefs, look at the Bills. I know the Bills just got bounced and looked dead doing it, but their talent level at seemingly every position around the field is higher than the Titans. I get that we love our homegrown guys and we love these guys who are team first players and wide receivers who can block their ass off. Well, Dustin, we need a receiver who can run a route and catch the damn football. Like it's just frustrating. And that is why I think the new blood hire, as you say, of Ran Carthon is such a big win for the franchise and such a smart move by Amy Adams Strunk, because we talked about it a little bit in leading up to that Jacksonville game. It just feels like we're moving laterally and we can't get out of our own way organizationally, roster-wise, injury-wise, coaching-wise. And this outside hire, I feel like, is going to provide a fresh perspective for this team and a fresh new philosophy, because it can't be run Derrick Henry up the middle into your putrid offensive line 30 times a game. It's just not going to work, especially when you have no receiving talent on the outside because you shipped them away to Philadelphia.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you're right. But with the offensive line, you don't have anything if you don't have a good offensive line. I'm here thinking about quarterback position and Tannehill or no Tannehill and what other options are there. But maybe his number one priority, he maybe shouldn't even look or think about anything else but to look at how to rebuild this line. Who is coming back? Maybe Nicholas Petit-Frere after his rookie season will be our right tackle next season. Nate Davis, maybe at left guard. I mean, right guard. I can't remember. I think he's due for a contract.
Nate Davis is due for a contract.
Decent. Yeah, he's decent when he's healthy, but he's been in and out of the lineup. But we're not going to have Ben Jones. We're not going to have, Aaron Brewer. I think I'm ready to move on. I mean, I don't know. The coaches kept bringing him back and bringing him around, and maybe he's good as a backup to come in a pinch, but he does not strike me, Jake, as a starter. I mean, he's kind of undersized. I think we can do better. then Brewer, and then obviously no Lawan, and then of course no Dennis Daly. Shirley will not come back next year. So you're looking at getting 3 starters, day one starters here for this team to come in here and block for the best running back in the league, Henry. He doesn't need much. Like you said, he was able to churn out 1,500 yards and 13 touchdowns behind the current offensive line. And
as their only offensive weapon. I mean, teams know he's getting the ball the majority of the game, and he still was able to produce a high production season.
Yeah, absolutely. And then protecting the quarterback. Offensive lineman that can do both of those things. And I think we could see. And then maybe a different kind of offensive philosophy, get a new offensive coordinator, more new blood there. Or is our friend coming back? Man, she's just
Fran wants to be a star. Yeah, big Titans fan. Fran.
Butt in on the screen.
Very
she's
curious.
A welcome guest. But yeah, lots of new blood on the O-line and offensive coordinator. That was it. Yeah, just like a different offensive philosophy. Tannehill could throw the ball. He's got a good arm. He's got a great deep ball. The deep shot was not part of our repertoire. When it was Traylon Burks.
Yeah.
Traylon Burks got a couple deep ones, and that looked great. Let's keep scheming these receivers to get downfield, push the ball downfield. I hate to say this about Josh Dobbs because I want to give my flowers to Josh Dobbs, dude. Coming in, and I thought he played admirably. That is an overdue compliment. Thank you, Josh Dobbs, for giving it your all, giving us a chance to win. Playing well in both against Dallas and then against Jacksonville. We can talk about the controversial call later if you want, but the fact that I don't know if Todd Downing called this, but the very last play of the season, the check down, or what I don't even know what running back it was. Was it Chestnut or Haskins?
It has slipped. I've forgotten everything past the fumble forward pass.
The brain just turned off.
Yeah, I just turned off. I knew it was over. It was the one thing that couldn't happen in that Titans-Jags game. And the Titans controlled a lot of that game. That happened, and I knew it was over. I knew it was only a 4-point lead, and there was still a lot of time left, but it was over. Like, it was not happening. And yes, Justin, Josh Dobbs' flowers, very, very well earned. And honestly, you want to talk about a quarterback conversation? He should be the quarterback number 2 next year.
Bring him back.
Yeah. I obviously, like, Malik Willis will go somewhere and become the next Michael Vick, I'm sure, when he's not with the Titans franchise. But I think right now, just based off of what we've seen, cut the losses with Malik Willis, go with Josh Dobbs as your backup quarterback, because it was amazing what he was able to do for this offense coming in literally with eight days preparation for that Cowboys game. And then, you gave him 2 weeks for the Jags game, winning in prime time. And he came in and played really, really well. I mean, it looked like the same offense Ryan Tannehill was running out there. Now that was mostly due to an offensive line and lack of creativity and play calling, but whatever, man. It's just, I obviously I don't think Josh Dobbs should start, but I think he is absolutely a great candidate for your backup quarterback role for this team moving forward. I think he proved it in those 2 games.
I mean, it's so bizarre. You can find a quarterback like that on the streets and sign him, and for him to come in and play like that, it makes you think Josh Dobbs would have won the Kansas City game if we had him there. He would have won the Houston game, any game that Malik Willis had to come in and start. He probably would have given us a better shot to win those games. And I mean, I don't know if Malik Willis was a John Robinson guy or if he was more of a Mike Vrabel guy coming out of the draft and he was really gunning for him. But if he was a John Robinson guy, I see no hesitation for Vrabel to kind of maybe put him on the trade block. What do we get him in the 3rd round? Maybe we could get a 5th or a 6th for him. I know his stock probably plummeted after the film that he showed on display, but the potential is still there. And if other teams see that potential and see some value there, maybe we can get something for him. But I mean, as far as how we looked and just where the team is right now, I would rather bring back Dobbs and have him just pencil him in as quarterback 2 for this team. But we'll see what happens there. But I'm glad we spent some time talking about Dobbs. I mean, I'm a huge fan anyway. A Tennessee Vol legend who was super exciting, kind of helped elevate that program with Butch Jones back in the mid-2010s, an exciting player there. So I was already a fan And it was nice to see him come in and do some good things for this offense and give us some hope. Something that Titans fans was needing was some hope.
Yes.
Until the refs, those dang refs, snatched it from us with his incomplete fumble pass. I don't know, man. Honestly, it was so close.
There's been two similar plays since then. Sorry to cut you off. There's been two similar plays in, I want to say it was the wild card round, and Josh Allen had one in the Bengals game that were very similar. They went to review, a lot longer review than the Titans got. They didn't even, they said.
That's what bothered me.
It's over. No review needed. It was a fumble. Jags touchdown. And where was I going with that? But yeah, there have been two plays, and I think they were both incomplete passes.
Yeah. Well, Josh Jobs' name should have been Josh Allen, and maybe then it would have been ruled. Because let's be honest, the NFL world, the NFL itself, the powers that be wanted to see the Jags in the playoffs over the Titans. And, the Jags proved them right by what they did with their comeback against the Chargers. They actually made it to the playoffs and won a playoff game. And I don't know if there's many Titans fans that would have been confident. Could we have beaten? I guess it would have been the Chargers coming to Nashville in that first round. I don't know. I mean, we almost beat them in Los Angeles. That would have definitely been a game there. Mm-hmm. But I don't. It just seemed a little fishy to me how quickly all that transpired. And boom, Jags touchdown. Next, they're in the playoffs. Goodbye, Titans. Never want to see you here again.
But man, can't believe it's over. Can't believe we're looking at Championship Sunday this weekend, and there's 3 football games left in the entire year, and then it's gone again until next September, Justin.
And just like our Titans channel, it's gonna probably be poop. I don't know. We'll dig up. We'll turn up some off-season content. Maybe I think we say that every off-season, but and then we just come out with a draft recap, and that's pretty much your Titans too there. But I don't know. We'll try to be better, okay, fellas, people out there, stick with us. But maybe tomorrow, later this week, we will come out with another episode, and we'll talk about these NFC, AFC championship games with a special guest. Clue, he used to host the show on the regular with me.
Has dreads, lives in a van. First
name starts with the K, last name ends with the Leb. I'll just leave it out like that, and you can figure it out, hopefully, with those clues. But we're going to get together and just kind of talk about the games, make some picks, have a little fun with it. So, 2 videos in 1 week, Jake. Yeah, we're spoiling you guys now. Okay?
We're coming out of the gate firing. We've gotten over our depression. The playoffs have been good. At least we can watch it in peace, Justin. We don't have to worry about the Titans disappointing us, ripping our hearts out. Do you have anything else in this just cleanup of the mess of whatever the Titans season was?
No, I think, let's clean it up. Let's get to next year. Let's get our players healthy. Let's get some new blood in here and see what we got. I mean, the Jags, they're on the up and up, but they're not world beaters yet. They're a beatable team. I mean, this division will be something to compete with for sure for this next year coming up. But it'll be a long off season. Everybody just relax, take it all in. I don't know what that's supposed to mean anyway, but but enjoy
comment, subscribe.
Games. Like, comment, subscribe. Oh, speaking of kudos too, real quick, we didn't mention Ryan Stonehouse, Chig Okonkwo, all rookie team. Hey, positives. We got to end on a positive.
Positives.
Note.
I love it. Good call, Justin. And he broke the punting record.
Yeah. He should be like first team all pro bowler. Is he? I don't even know if he made that crap, but whatever. He plays for the Titans. He's overlooked. We're used to it. All right. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Yeah, we'll see you guys soon and with another video, like I just said.
Perfect. Love ending on that happy note there. Shout out our rookies, Chig Okonkwo, Ryan Stonehouse. Keep doing what you guys do. Like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. Tighten up as always. Don't lose the faith. Put your future on the Titans making the playoffs right now, Justin. They probably got great odds to win the AFC South for 2023 season. So make the bet now. Tighten up, and we will see you in the next video. Peace.